Welcome once again to Inspire Adetunji, my channel where we encourage ourselves, talk about how to bring out the best in us. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to overcome fear of the unknown. What is the fear of the unknown? The fear of the unknown is what stands between you and where you want to get to. There's this saying that everything you want is on the other side of fear, and that fear is what we're talking about today. That what are the steps that we can take to overcome that fear, to move from the B side of the quadrant of life to the A side of the quadrant, to move from being poor and lacking to becoming rich and successful and among the top 1 or 10%. The first step is that you must have a clear goal of what you want, a clear definition of what you want, and then have it written down as a plan. I remembered at the beginning of my career, but I was working for the government, and then I set a goal right from the beginning then that, I was going to work here for a particular time. Eventually, I did not leave at that exact time. It was just a little bit before that time, but it was all still along with my plan. So we must have a plan. So for instance, let's take someone, let's say you have been stuck in the cycle of exchanging your time for money, which means you are working for someone. And then you want to move to the other side. You've been listening to all these messages. You've been looking at it. You're thinking, but I want to have financial freedom. I've learned that, I cannot have financial freedom through this way. I want to get to that point where I can use my money to buy more time. How do I do it? You are afraid. Do I stop working? Do I resign? What do I do? So the first thing is you must have a clear definition of what you want, where you see yourself. Set definite, measurable, definable goals and write it down. And then back it up with a plan. A plan means that you tell yourself that, I'm doing this. If I'm going to leave this job, how much money will I need to be able to sustain myself? I said something before, and I'll still say it again. Life do not respond to wishes. Life responds to planning. Everything you want in life must be through proper planning. For instance, that person that is working in paid employment can now tell himself or herself that, let me give myself, first and foremost, to have a plan to get this thing. I've defined what I want, but how do I get there? Then you must look at yourself. What are your monthly cost of living? What are the cost of your transportation? What are the cost of your feeding? What are the cost of your accommodation? So you break it down because you know that those are the things that come rain, come shine, you need to survive. So let us say, for instance, let's take a figure that what you need to survive every month is 100,000 naira. In a year, that comes to 1.2 million naira. And then you can then have a plan and say, if I want to step out, let me have enough money saved that I can sustain myself for at least the next 2 years. So if you're talking about the next 2 years, and then your expenses in a year comes to 1.2, so that means you are looking at about 2.4 million naira minimum. So you then tell yourself, with my present employment, how long will it take me to save this 2.4 million naira? And then that will define it for you to say, how long more do you need to be in that place? This is very important. Even if you are not in paid employment, even if you are working for yourself, and then you want to take the next big step. You want to take the big leap. You want to go to the next level. So you need to have yourself, okay, so how much are my expenses? And then I need to have this thing put together so that for the next 2 years, if the things that I'm working on do not work, I won't suffer. I won't struggle. I can still meet my basic needs. So when you have this figure, then define and devise the plan to save this money. By the time you have this money saved, so you know that whatever happens, you have a plan to be able to sustain yourself for the next 2 years, then you are good and okay to set out. The reality is that a lot of us, especially in Nigeria, in Africa, we don't plan. You find out that if you ask people, a lot of people, how much is your monthly expense? They can't give you a figure. You are supposed to be able to know that every month or every week, and of course, translating to every month, I spent so on my fuel to fuel my car or for my transport to work. Because let's say you use the bus, you would have how much your ticket will cost. And then if you use your car, you know how much fuel you use. And then of course, you know how much you pay for your electricity bill, for your power bill. And then if you want to say, okay, you have a little amount for entertainment, for things that you have it all. But our own is not like that. Somebody will just wake up every Friday and say, guy, yeah, let's hang out. Money that you don't have, we put it there. Everybody go and do things. So we don't have a planning culture. And because we don't have a planning culture, we also do not have a budgeting culture. And of course, we do not have a saving culture. Proper planning is important in you overcoming that fear of the unknown. So when you have this planned out and you have that money saved, then you can step out to do whatever you want to do. Now, having step out, the next thing that you need to do is to have a mentor. And this mentor does not necessarily have to be someone that you know physically or personally. You must have an image of someone that you look up to, someone that had achieved something similar to where you see yourself. Someone that achieved, whether in the field that you see yourself, someone that had excelled, that is in that place where you hope and aspire to be. And then you now start mirroring such a person. You start learning from such a person. If it's someone that had written book, then you start reading all the books and the things that the person has written. If the person has a podcast, you start listening to them so that you can start understanding their journey. And then in understanding their journey, you will keep learning to become what you yourself want to become. The next thing that we need to do is to have the right mindset. Without the right mindset, you cannot achieve anything because everything begins in the mind. Everything resides in the mind. And like I keep saying, what you cannot see in your mind, you cannot see with your eyes and you cannot hold in your hand. So that goal, that dream, that vision that you have, if you cannot see it in your mind, you cannot get there. Have a growth mindset. Dump your limiting mindset. Remove the ceiling that you have already placed on where you can be. Let us say that maybe the salary that you have been collecting or the money that you have been collecting is 500,000 naira, for instance. And then you have a vision and say, I want to have a business that I will be making 5 million naira for myself every month. That is almost what you are getting before in a year. And then you need to get yourself to that place. You need to get your mindset to that place. You need to envision, you need to see that money in your mind before you can be able to have it and achieve it. So depositing the right mindset is important. And the fallout of this is that you have to change your environment. It also goes along with your mindset shifts. You have to change the people that you are moving with if they are not going the same way with you. There are people that you have to dump if they are going to become a liability to you. If you know that the people that you have been working with, people that you have been surrounding yourself with, they are not people that share the same goal and mind and vision with you, you leave them behind and you pursue your goal. Because there is nothing that can draw us back as much as the people that we surround ourselves with. That is why even in relationship, is important for you to have somebody that share your goal. It is important for you to ask somebody that understand your vision and that is ready to go the route and the road with you. Another thing that you need to do is that you have to be ready to put in the work. Success is not going to fall on you. For things to work, you have to work. So for you to overcome that fear, you have to work towards it. A lot of people don't understand that the rich and the successful, they work way more than your average person. And a lot of us are not ready to give it what it takes. In fact, they ask you to come and play the life of those people that you think you look up to one day. You find out that you cannot live their life one day. You cannot put your body through the rigor and the stress they put their body through. You cannot eat the way they eat. You cannot do meetings the way they do meetings. You cannot read the way they read. You cannot plan the way they plan. When you talk to an average successful person, you will be shocked at the level of their intelligence. You'll be shocked at the level of the information they have. You need to put in the work. If you're not ready to put in the work, forget it. It's not going to fall on you. Be ready to sacrifice your time to build that thing, that vision that you want. You must be ready to give it time. And that is the next thing. As you are working towards it, you must be ready to give it time. It takes time. Everything in life takes time. That thing that you want to achieve, that tree that you're planting, is not going to grow in one day. Life is like farming. When you plant a seed, it's like an example of life itself. So when a farmer plants a seed, first and foremost, he must prepare the ground. You will not just carry your seed and go and throw it anywhere inside the bush. But of course, that's the end of it. So first and foremost, you must till the ground. You must put manure on the ground. In some cases, you are creating a new mindset. You are doing a mindset shift because of what you want to do there. And after doing all these things, you plant the seed. I don't think any farmer that plant the seed and after that keep rejoicing and say, oh, I've done it, I'm successful now. I planted. That will be the end of that success because nothing will grow for him. But that farmer need to start watering the ground, need to start watering that seed. For a long time, he will keep watering. He will not see anything sprouting up on the ground, but he will keep watering. That is an aspect of the law of compounding, because every little drop of water that touches that thing is having an effect, but you will not see it. And then one day, a little sprout will just come out from the ground. And then the farmer will be so happy. And then he keep watering them all. Now, most of us do not realize that every seed actually grows in two ways. Every seed grows down before it grows up. For most of us, what we are expecting is to see the seed growing up, forgetting the fact that the growing down is much more important because that is the foundation. That is why if they are building a house, for a long time, you see people coming in day and night, they are digging, they are doing this for some time, depending on the kind of house, because the taller the building, the deeper the foundation. You keep asking yourself that, what are they even doing in that place? Because you are not seeing anything on the ground. That is how our life and then pursuing our vision is. There will be a time when all you be doing is putting in. But at that time when you are putting in, you must not stop because everything is compounding. Keep at it, keep putting in the work and giving it time. And it keep growing. while it grows downward, establishing a firm foundation. Then one day, people see you up. By the time you see anybody that is successful at anything, at that time that you see them, go back, you find out the years that they have put into that thing before they get to that point when you are hearing about them. So you must be ready to put in the work, and then you must be ready to give it time. The next important thing that you need to do, you must start playing offensive and stop playing defense. So a lot of us in life play the game of life being defensive. So we're just defending. We're not on the offensive. Because when you are on the offensive is when you are on the attack. You are going after your goal. You are going after your vision. You are attacking it. But when you are on the defensive, you are just trying not to do anything. But that's not how to live life. You must attack the game of life by being on the offensive. What will illustrate this for you is this. A ship is always beautiful when you see a ship at the harbor, moored at the harbor. But that's not where ships are meant for. A ship is meant to sail the ocean, the rough ocean. So the ship is supposed to leave the harbor and go on the attack, because that is when it's fulfilling itself. Being at the harbor is just being on the defensive. The same thing goes for a plane. Imagine you see the plane on the hangar, just lying there, oh, beautiful sight to behold. But that's not what a plane is meant for. The plane is meant to fly. It's meant to move against this wind. That is how we need to attack life, by being on the offensive. We cannot be playing it safe. Remember, everything you want in life is on the other side of fear. The last point that I want to talk about in conquering this fear of the unknown is that you must be ready to not give up. You are going to face many opposition. You are going to face many failures, supposedly. You are going to face many disappointments. You're going to try and fail. It doesn't mean that the moment you set out, oh, on the first venture, you are going to get it right. No. But the key is for you never to give up. The most important thing is that when you seemingly fail, learn from it, move on to the next stage, become better at it, and then before you know it, you would have achieved what you want. We underestimate the importance of time in life. If you tell yourself that, this plan or this thing will take me 5 years to achieve or 10 years to achieve, and then because of that, you are not afraid to step out. But the truth and the reality is that whether you like it or not, that 5 years, that 10 years will pass. It will come and go. But where will you be? Because you can either be at the same point that you were, or you could have made more progress in your life. My question to us is this: what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want, to get on that other side of fear? Because you must be ready to sacrifice. There's a story of a general that took his army to war, and by the time they landed at the shore of the city of the enemy, and all of the soldiers alighted and came down, he gave an instruction to someone, and he said the ship that they came with should be burnt, and they set fire to the ship. And as the soldiers, they were looking at their ship burning, and he told them, there is only one way out for us, and it is through that city. As we're going into this battle, we are going to win, because we don't have a choice, we don't have an option, we don't have the means of escape. Our only means of escape is through this place. So for you to overcome the fear of the unknown, are you ready to burn that ship that is tying you back down? And examples abound of people that came from nowhere. I read the story of a man, is a coach, who he said for about 16 years of his life, he was a teacher and a coach in school. And he was collecting one ridiculous amount for years until he decided to say, I want to change. Let me go on the other side. Let me pursue my dream, define my life, and set up my goal. After a very short time, but I think about 10 years, the man now has his own private island. He has his own golf courses and businesses bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars. And if you can do it, you also can do it. Everybody can do it. We have shown you the blueprint. We have shown you the steps. And if you follow these steps one by one, diligently, with focus and dedication, having a clear plan of what you want, nothing is enough to stop you. Because within you is all the power. Bring them out. Unleash them. Don't stop yourself, because nothing will stop you. In the book Babel, when God came down to see what the children of men had started to do, and he said, these they have begun to do. Now, nothing can be withheld from them that they have set their mind to do. God testimony, not man. He said nothing that you have set your mind to do as a man is impossible for you to do, as long and as much as you are ready to sacrifice and give it all it takes. You can, if you think you can. Follow me on this journey. Follow Inspire Adetunji, my page, for more. Like, share, and subscribe as we get to know ourselves and encourage ourselves the more. And if you have any question on this, drop it in the comments and we'll attend to it. Thank you so much.